So, we're back. All right, I got a little intro bit. If you listen, you said you listened to a couple, so you're hip to it.
I'm familiar.
By the way, if any of this info that I'm about to announce is inaccurate, just try to keep note and we'll correct it after I say it.
Okay.
All right. Hello, miners. Welcome to the 12th episode of Mining in the Foothills, where I am on the search for dialectic gold with doers from around the Midwest. I'm Wes from Wally Opus, and my guest today is Chris Schmitt, owner and operator of mid.west.vintage, an apparel curation brand that finds and sells unique and sometimes rare vintage clothing or vintage items. Taking a very personal and professional approach to his business, Chris has garnered over 90 five-star reviews on Depop. Depop. Is it Depop?
It is.
Which is an online marketplace for all things apparel. Chris also sells his findings to local vintage clothing shops around the Midwest, including local and around the Midwest, including Filthy Vintage, which I feel like is kind of the I don't know what the primary, but like the top vintage shop in Evansville, wouldn't you think? In terms from like a curation brand who sells there.
For sure.
Yeah, I think so too. Chris also participated as a model in their, and I guess that was Phil's fashion show collaboration this past September.
Yeah. It was a show that he did participate in. Yeah.
Okay, in Bloomington.
Yeah.
Chris has been a longtime friend of mine and always has been an avid fan of nearly all music, including any music that we made together in our early days or any music I make today. You're always like up to date with it, and I
100%.
Always appreciate that, dude.
Dude,
it's awesome. Yeah. While his shop lives on Instagram and Depop, he himself is currently based in the heart of Germantown, Hofstad, Indiana. Chris,
that's right.
Thanks for doing this.
Oh, thank you for having me, Wes. I mean, like you said, we have been homies for quite a while at this point, and
it's crazy.
Yeah, dude, been doing all kinds of stuff. That was one of the things I figured we'd talk about. I don't know, because like I didn't know how much you talked about like your previous like paradox and like going
Not
all
tons.
the way back, dude.
Yeah, not tons, but what's awesome is it's fun. It's felt the same with Cooper. It felt the same. Shit, I don't know who else I've had on that I go that far back with. You know, really. I mean, Chloe, we don't even go, my wife, we don't even go that far back. You know, she saw the very end of Paradox, kind of, you know what I mean? She saw she saw the height of it, really, because like we were all, do you remember that float in the Hofstadt Summerfest parade?
Absolutely, dude.
That was like the height. We won best musical float or category, whatever, overall music float. We had like 20 people, maybe more. I don't even know. All wearing shirts, throwing out candy, beads. We were fucking singing. We had this trailer. Jordan was DJ Fizz was on the fake ones and twos. He wasn't even doing anything. We had my sound system on the float, blasting music. I was singing live on the back of the float, and the float itself was a boat. Remember that?
I don't even remember what the float looked like, but
it was on a trailer and being pulled by a truck. So it was like this, like, I'll show you after this. I still have photos. It was pretty fucking badass, just to be quite frank about what we were up to.
Oh, I don't doubt it. I specifically remember the T-shirts, I mean, obviously, but like, dude, the blue and the yellow ones, like, what was the tape called?
The album at the time, you mean?
Yeah.
It was called...
Wasn't it like the Lost Tapes or something like that?
No, it was Demo Tape.
The Demo Tape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Classic.
Dude.
Classic. But Drew Cooper, who was doing all of the artwork for anything that I was up to, or anybody, well, I don't even know, everybody was up to. He was just doing anything and everything. His his artwork was the cassette. It was like a cassette drawing, and it was literally based off a cassette that we owned that he drew this on. I still have it upstairs, or it might be even down here somewhere. But yeah, it said demo tape. And then I had another one that I did like a demo tape too. He just went and put 2 on it after the fact, and we changed the color and did another one. But yeah, dude. But I mean, it wasn't even just that. I mean, do you remember? I was thinking about this. We made music together at one point.
DJ Wes days.
Yeah, it was, because Christian was on it too. I mean, we did one song called "I Can't See." Do you remember that? There was like a lighter on the front.
Damn,
I can't see.
I do.
I can't remember really how it goes, and it's probably buried somewhere on somebody's hard drive or in the depths of the cloud somewhere. I'm sure it's out there. I just didn't look yet, but
wow, yeah, dude. I mean, those were the days. Like high school, we were DJing dances and stuff,
playing stuff at dances that like we thought was cool. I don't even, like we played a lot of the hits too for everyone, but like,
yeah,
just do even, but mixed in there with like shows. Remember Fifth Quarter?
Oh,
we would fucking have shows there,
dude. Fifth Quarter was the first Lesson 3 show.
Was it really?
Which was, for anyone that doesn't know, was just like a metal band that I was in high school with the homies. But yeah, like that was the first place we played.
You guys were like an actual band though. You were like it was like a legit band,
For sure. And
it was cool.
Dude, I love those Fifth Quarter shows in the basement. They were disgusting.
Sometimes
and
they got
really
rowdy.
sweaty. Yeah, it was so much fun.
It was the only thing of its kind in our town.
Yeah.
Think about that. It was the only place where a high school... God, thank God it existed. Now that I think back, holy shit. Dude, that is... Shout out to Dawn and Robin Angermeyer. Tessa Angermeyer's parents, for anybody who knows her locally. You know what I mean?
Yeah, shout out.
Shout out. I think she's marrying... I'm pretty sure they're engaged to Ben Savage.
Right.
Yep.
Which is
Boy Meets World,
right.
the main character. Anyway, yeah.
Makes the news every time he comes to
Ben
town.
was in, dude, it's everywhere, which is great. People love it. It gives the people of Fort Branch something super stoked to talk about, to tell all their grandkids and kids, which is awesome. It's like they put it on. My dad put a picture on Facebook of his partner Sandy getting a picture with Ben Savage at the Angermeyer's little brewery.
Exactly,
and dude, it was
dude.
huge. To them it was like
everyone's
my dad's showing me, and he loves it.
They're like, can you believe that Hollywood guy?
And dude, I mean, we come from the end of that era where like people who were on TV were a different type of human. You know what I mean?
Yeah, famous. Like,
yeah, because we know some people mutually, I'm sure, in our own little bubbles, where like, people now who have like a lot of followers on something, or of somebody who you knew in a earlier life, think about all those guys like Taylor Kniff and all those guys used to hang out in high school at Tanner's and even after.
Oh yeah, I mean I see Rep all the time, man.
Do you?
Yeah, he comes to town.
Who's that again?
I saw him close.
What's
Dylan Rupp?
Dylan Rupp. And
yeah.
what's he? What's he now? What's he do now?
He's a businessman.
Is he?
Yeah.
Fuck, that's badass. And he's like 28. 27?
Yeah, I think he's our age. Out in LA, living it. He'll come to town.
They hang out with like MGK sometimes, and I don't know if Rupp does, but I've seen Kniff hanging out with MGK.
Definitely, they're in the circles.
Fucking nuts, fucking nuts. But
it is.
But that's the generation we come from. We're like, that's not uncommon. Like I was hanging out with Colin, my nephew.
Yeah.
He was talking about his buddy. He said he had like 125,000 followers on TikTok. And it's just a kid who hangs out with Colin, who I know. I'm like, what? How the
You're
fuck?
Like, why?
Yeah.
I know him. He's not that interesting.
No, he's not.
Exactly.
Yeah, but he's a good looking kid. I mean, I know why he has all those followers, because he just posts pictures of himself. But like, I'm thinking, man, a band or a company or somebody would give anything to have that much attention.
Oh,
like
100%.
125,000 accounts. Oh my God, that would be such a big deal. And this kid just has it. So, I mean, like, we come from the era, I feel, maybe I'm wrong, or maybe not everybody's like this, but like, where that fame is not so much a removed thing from the daily life. Like, anybody can get on the internet in a theory, go viral and become famous.
Dude, if you try hard enough, you definitely can. Like, I mean,
not just everybody could go start their own TV show in 1962. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's like a little more accessible for
the power's in everybody's hands now, dude.
Exactly.
You have a phone, you can do it all, literally.
And not only do you have a phone in 2022 or almost 2023, the cameras on the phone are some of the best cameras human beings have ever made.
We're shooting phones with 4K. It's crazy.
Stereo, recording in stereo, like recording stereo recordings of sound. And like, you can kind of, if you record a good video and you watch it, and you maybe even throw just a tiny color at it just to lock things in, you could, in theory, have like a pretty decent little film on your cell phone without any equipment. You know what I mean?
It's insane. I mean,
it's nuts.
Do you watch any of like Lyrical Lemonade, Cole Bennett stuff?
Sometimes. I don't ever really dive in. I am aware of them, and I have so much fucking respect for Cole Bennett.
Yeah.
When I see him hanging out with the people he hangs out with, I'm like, wow, that kid's my age. Or dude, might be young. I don't even know.
He did like I think he said he might be done with it now, but like he did like maybe like 8 or 9 videos where it was like all shot on iPhone.
Oh, really?
And all like he edited it with like certain ones, not all of them with just iPhone, but yeah, he edited it with different apps and stuff. And then like at the end of the video, it was a Yeet one specifically where he was like, yeah, I used all this stuff, all free apps or whatever. Here's what they are, like giving everybody the source so that they can go out and replicate that if they want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, this guy's literally, I mean, that video probably has, 12 million views or whatever, but like, just proving that you don't have to have a studio behind you or anything. Like, you got to have an iPhone and, some time. Some ideas. Like, it's crazy. It's beautiful, honestly.
It's fucking insane, dude. But it gives so much potential. Like, if you're somebody who's like, dude, it's like your page. When I get on your page, it's so clean now. I try. It's nice. Because it reminds me of I don't know, it's just like a refined interface. It's like a nice store. You go into a nice, clean store. That's what it feels like. Online store.
Yeah, I want, like, whenever, that is one of the things that, like, if I take pictures of stuff, like, sometimes, I don't like the way that the lighting is, so I won't post it or something. And because I do want it to have feeling, even though it's a picture on your phone. You know what I mean? Like, I do want that vibe to be, passed along. Yeah. But
it's important, dude. It makes or breaks the product that you're trying to sell. Having a good, solid photo of it with lighting, it is important.
Yeah, because like
the angle, all that.
Yeah,
the background,
all of it, dude.
Don't put a red shirt on a burgundy flower bed.
Yes,
it's gonna blend in and look. What I mean? It's like thinking through all those aspects of what you're up to.
Yeah, man. It's
Would you just copy people that you saw? I mean, like literally just like saw people do it, or did someone teach you that?
No, it's just like what I like. To be honest, like I think. Like my bio, I believe, is just like old things and old stuff and things I think is cool or whatever. Old clothes and stuff I think is cool, whatever.
Yes, yeah.
But like literally, that's what I want. What I kind of gear my stuff towards is like what I think looks good and what I think is cool. Like, because if I don't know, if like that's just, I know what I like and I know what I think looks good and feels good material wise, like. Or like look wise. And so like if I do that, I don't know, I just try and keep it, all in its own thing, like own universe, if that makes sense, like together.
Oh yeah, it's. I mean, I called your company or your brand like a curation brand.
Yeah, for sure, because
I feel like that's what you are. Like
Yeah.
you're a taste maker of clothing.
You got it.
Yeah, yeah. And
That's
then
spot on.
the thing that you produce is a similar vibe or it's a coherent catalog, basically. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
kind of like a record label does sometimes, maybe not always, but like a punk record label curates and promotes and develops punk artists. You know what I mean? Like it's
Right.
like it makes sense that it kind of like they see one thing. I'm like, oh, I really like that. I want to put that out.
Exactly.
You know, and I'm going to invest in it, and then I'm going to hopefully
See where it goes.
make more money off of it and grow it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Or just sell it in your case. So take me back to a little bit of this.
Yeah.
I was thinking this. This is important. In my opinion, this is important that to remember or to think back in my own life. I thought of you because I was trying to think of you as like, I've known you for so long. What are some things that I know about you? And I was thinking, well, you've always had your own style of dressing and of presenting yourself. You've always done that since I just can't remember a time where you weren't repping something that you thought was cool and you didn't give a fuck what everybody else was repping. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You've
for sure.
always been yourself. And
I
like
try to genuinely do that.
when do you remember how that started and like what kicked off your search to be or not even search to be, but like your discovering of yourself as like somebody who likes to present themselves in a very intentional and like, you know, like cool way?
Probably,
always had a cool
honestly, because I'm an only child, so I just had a lot of time to be in my own head. Like
Yeah.
if that, to be completely honest, like I feel like that had a lot to do with it, just because like I'd entertain myself, you know, and like so whether that be diving into like subcultures of stuff that I found interesting, whether it be like I don't know, like metal music was like really the first stuff that like I was like, damn, this is different. This is like, I like this, you know, like it's fucking like, it's
Yeah.
gnarly, it's heavy, it's, you know, I don't know. It's different. Like I
Yeah.
was always drawn to it because it was something else, or like skateboarding as well. Like we talked about, like I listened to that episode with Thomas and like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, like, dude,
Yeah,
like,
his story was pretty deeply involved in like skateboarding being so influential in him picking up a camera out of necessity to record his friends skating.
right.
That initial pick up the camera led to a job, which led to picking up a camera, which led to now his job is to pick up fucking cameras, you know? Like,
exactly. But yeah, dude, but like that skating was also like pretty big for my like growing up and like style curation as well, because
Yeah.
it is like it's very well just like it's always been a counterculture thing, like with skating and like
Yes.
so just everything that comes with that, like the, you know, rebellious side of it, the punk side of it, the like just going out and thrashing and having a good time with your friends and like not really caring about like society, you know,
Right.
quote unquote, and like shit like that is, yeah, it just was always enticing, and like that style was always cool, you know, like just throwing it together and doing it yourself. Like
Yep.
it's like we don't have anything else to do in the middle of a fucking cornfield town in Indiana, so like that's what we did during the summer. Rode our bikes and skateboards around and like watched skate videos in our buddy's basement, you know, and
Yeah.
like it was awesome that like I think all the like stuff like that really helped me draw that individuality. Like earlier on, you know, because I just love diving into that stuff. Like I like learning about details and stuff like that. So like, I don't even know like if it was like Thrasher or like, dude, like even like luxury stuff, like old Rob Report magazines. Like, you know what that is?
What's
like
that? Rob Report?
Yeah, dude. It's literally like my aunt and uncle would get them. I don't know why they had them either, like genuinely, but they were it's just like it's like a rich person's magazine where like they would
about the market and shit.
Well, they'd talk about like luxury goods a lot. So it'd be like, ooh, the new Rolls Royce is coming out. Ooh, look at this Gucci collection. And like all the ads were like for high end brands and like shit like that. And so like even that is like not the same as, but it is like a smaller fraction of the population. You know what I mean? So it's like, it is kind of a subculture, even though it's costs a lot, you know?
Yeah.
So like that too, it's like something exclusive. It caught my eye. It's like, so I like looking at that shit too, because it felt the same, even though it's not, you know?
Yeah. Well, I feel like too, like looking at, I'm assuming, are these magazines old, the ones that you're talking about, Rob Report? Like if you found one today, is it kind of,
no, like they
do you
still
like the older ones?
I think they still are around. I'm pretty sure Tyler Creator just did like a article with them about like his car collection, because he owns like a bunch of old Lancias and shit. Like they're fire. Wow. But like that and like his record collection, I think. But yeah, he just did like a thing with them on what he collects. So like it's still out there. It's just like, who's subscribing to that? It's like,
yeah,
you don't even hear that thing, you know, or like DuPont Registry. It's like literally all car, just like rich car guy stuff. And like, you know, it's awesome.
It's so fun to go into different worlds.
Exactly.
Because that's what that is. That is a world. That's a community that like, I don't know. You just, but I was thinking about this last night. I'm like, but to join, if you want to like think about a community of people that you would like to join. So say you're like, you know what, I'm an old guy. I want to be into cars. Like that's what I want.
For sure.
It's like, I was thinking about this last night because I was thinking about Nashville, and I'm thinking like, oh man, Nashville is like 2.5 hours away, but like they have such a huge music scene. I've been thinking this for years, by the way. I need to get involved. But only recently, and I've done some shows with the strength. Oh, of course you know this because we went. As I think that might have been the last time I've seen you. Maybe I've seen you once between then, but I can't remember.
It might have been the last time I saw you, honestly.
It was I think it was in July or June or August. I can't even fucking remember, dude.
Who knows?
But when we went down to
old Nash Vegas.
Old Nash Vegas at the end. That's where it was. We saw the Strangers and a couple other bands from Nashville. We put it together. But then as we leave, I pulled the fucking biggest rookie move of them all inside this parking garage, backing out. Chris wasn't even in the car yet.
No.
Gave her a little bit of gas, turned, whipped it, boom. Literally felt like a shock through my body that I was getting jolted awake. And awoken to the fact that my mirror is now hanging by wires because I smashed it and dented in the door. I thought, well, only thing I can do. I got out of the car and looked. I'm like, fuck. But I thought the only thing I can do is go pick up Chris and then yank this mirror off.
Yeah,
we gotta get home.
And that's what you did.
And
it was handled perfectly. You know,
you drove. You took. I was so shooken up. It's like I was in a wreck, really. I mean, I kind of was, but it was like, how did myself just disappoint myself so much by smashing? Yeah, you know,
it never feels good.
I know. It's like you get like surprised by your own slip. It's like I just didn't look. I didn't look for the fucking pole.
Exactly. I mean, dude, I've done it. Scraped up along the side of like a little parking meter or whatever. You're like, God, man,
it just sucks.
It does.
Fuck with this, but Anyway, something I want to go back to that what I was thinking was like those shows at Fifth Quarter that we used to do, like what I was thinking Don and Robin Ingermeyer for was like that shit, like it's so important for kids. I just saw Flea, all this election shit going on, but Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers posted a video like, please vote for this in California to get more music education in schools. And up till I was like this age, I didn't pay attention to any of that shit. But now that I hear that, I'm like, dude, it really is important because like you saying that you grew up kind of like interested in counterculture in general with all this different stuff, but you were, and most of the kids that you ran around with, that I ran around with, mostly everyone that we were close to were good people who like still got shit done, still showed up to school, like still abided by the rules of just general functionality.
Yeah.
Which is like, I think the counterculture of our area was like the real one that was successful, that people actually didn't like end up just dying or becoming dipshits. You know, like people like who've made it through the gauntlet of growing up. Like it was like counterculture to the identity of the group, but we still, it's like, but we still follow the rules and we don't speed all the time. You know, it's like we drive on the
I'm not.
It's like we're not full rebellions against society. It was
I wasn't like
counter. It was literally just counterculture.
Yeah, so it was more like. Now I'm not saying that we didn't do our fair share of stupid stuff as a kid, but like,
of course,
definitely like. Yeah, I wasn't going like crazy. I think it was more that, like dressing and stuff is how I expressed that, feeling of difference or wanting to be, different. I mean, like, yeah, like when in middle school and like stuff, like I remember like, that's when Abercrombie Hollister was like hot.
Oh my God.
Shit was popping.
I had so much of it.
And like, so... But yeah, that was when I was like wearing, like skate tees and shoes and like all that stuff. Like just doing when tight pants started coming cool. I mean, I've made some questionable clothing options in my past, but at the time I thought I was on it,
Yeah. Dude, I feel like that, dude, the Abercrombie and Fitch stuff. Oh my God. I used to wear, what was the other one? Abercrombie and Fitch and what?
Hollister.
Oh
yeah.
It's like walking into a California perfume shop in there, dude. It's dark and there's club music banging and you're going to buy a $60 polo that's questionable just from what it looks like, I mean, this is back then. I don't know what it's like today, but
they still like, the thing that's weird to me is like, I just see a lot of clothes because that's, that's what I do. Yeah. But like, dude, like Hollister's like come along. They've tried to keep up with the times and like, they do like track suits and stuff now but like high school kids wear it, which is, they still have their demo, which is that's wild to me.
Yeah.
But it's
pretty baller to last this long. As a company, you know what I mean? To go through the internet. I mean, like to rise with the internet because the internet disrupts so much,
Yeah. Same with like American Eagle. They sell a lot of clothes, which I ain't shitting on them or nothing, but American Eagle has some like decent quality stuff too, I will say. Every once in a while I'll feel some of theirs and be like, ooh, heavyweight.
Do you ever go into, or do you find yourself interested in going into shops that are not vintage shops and just looking at clothes? And like, do you buy new clothes too, personally? Or do you mostly wear vintage stuff?
So I do wear new stuff, but if I do, it's usually like like artist merch that I buy. I'll buy like artist merch or like,
me fucking too, dude.
Like
this is literally or like a brand, like I got a coffee shop shirt like last month. Somebody who owns a coffee shop gave me a shirt.
You're like,
I'm not gonna not wear it.
Yeah. No,
it looks cool.
Like, but as far as like going into other stores, no, I worked at the mall for like a year and a half up because I wanted to learn a little bit about like retail. That side of retail, and So I try not to go back there as much as I can. But like when I was working there, like, yeah, I would go into those other stores like H&M, like
Yeah.
PacSun, all that stuff, and still check it out. But for the most part, like, no, I don't like, I just, most of the stuff I don't like, and or it's horrible quality.
Yeah.
Like,
so you can sense that now, as because I feel like I can kind of sense quality of clothing just based off the way it feels, but like I feel like you probably inspect clothing at this point. Would you
yeah,
say
like
that's
for sure. Yeah, I definitely like pick it apart. I can sometimes, but like it's just, yeah, like working. I worked at, I guess I won't say because for fear of nothing, but yeah, I worked at a just like a your regular spot in the mall,
Yep.
and like it was like Zoomies. I'll just say that, but it wasn't Zoomies, and
it was the other
yeah, and so like but like 80-90% of the clothing that went through there, besides like Champion stuff, is just like the most fast fashion, costs 5 cents to make a shirt, and it's that you're getting 5 wears out of it. Like it's shrinking, its hems are all weird and shit, and like it's not worth anything. So like that stuff, like it kind of discouraged me from like wanting to even shop there, because it's like, dude, if I can't wear this more than 5 times, like it's not a cool enough piece anyway. So
and it's a piece of shit, like, in terms of the build and the materials. Yeah,
it's like it's not worth what, in a lot of those shirts too, it'll be like $30 still, and you're like, dude, this is ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care.
Golly.
Yeah, and then like there is the ethical side to it too, where you're like, you know
where this shit's coming from.
Yeah, and it's just all that dye is probably getting dumped in some river in India or whatever, and you're like, yeah, it's not really great.
Dude, it is so crazy to think. I've never thought of this from like a personal perspective, but that with some products, I don't know about which products exactly, but like, let's say it's a new phone that you got. It could be the case that the last person who touched it before it was in the box was working against their own will, or like under like having to work in really shitty conditions. Like that is so I mean, that could be a way to view some of the supply chain of some of the products that we use in America. It's like,
oh dude,
the last person who touched that 5-cent shirt was, overworked and barely paid and hungry as fuck.
100%. And like, people can like call it woke, call it what you want, but like, I wouldn't want to be the guy making 5 cents an hour,
I wouldn't either,
for like basically slave labor, and
so
then
that we can have $30 shirts in America.
Yeah, and like it just doesn't sit right with me. So like brutal. At the same time, I will buy brand new Nike shoes, so I am a hypocrite. I like, it's fine. Like I am not above.
Dude, I'm wearing
it either.
This is even crazier. I'm wearing $12 Adidas sneakers, and they're comfortable. They're nice quality. Like, for what a shoe is, it costs $12. Like, there's no way. I mean, like, so they still made money off of it. What did they pay for these fucking
right? Exactly
12 cents, maybe. I don't even 12 cents a shoe.
Exactly.
I mean, God. I mean, they are selling them at Sam's, so I don't know, but fuck, I don't know how all that shit works, but
yeah, and it's such a weird like thing, because like I think you can really only like be as, I don't know, ethical as like possible. It's not possible to be like 100% like, you know what I mean, be like,
without living off the grid, or like,
like
even then you're gonna have to kill some animals or something. You have to kill something to like right. I mean, at the end of the day, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
exactly.
It is hard to be, if you're a normal functioning, or like a regular everyday human in our society, it's hard. How do you even know what you're using and what you're not using that's coming from something that's like considered ethical, you know, unless you buy a local piece of whatever from somebody who just made it locally, like a fucking wooden chair or something that somebody made, you know. It's like, okay, this is pretty ethical. I'm paying you, you're paying me. Services are pretty ethical, I feel like if I'm recording you as an artist, I'm like, okay, this is the fee, this is what I want in return, and we both do our best job and we negotiate it and everybody's happy, you know. That's that's like as ethical as it gets. But yeah, who knows what half the shit that we use or whatever's. It's just the way our world is. But people are waking up to it, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like way more common knowledge now to like know that. But to really internalize it takes an extra thought, you know, to be like, it is pretty it's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, it sucks. But yeah, like you said, it is like the world we live in at this point. And like, yeah, I think it just comes down to like personal responsibility or how you feel about it. Like, you know, it's like, because I mean, also like, you don't have the time to look up everything you're buying, and like that's just too much. It's too much, like for anyone that's really trying to get their do shit, you know.
Yes.
So yeah, but yeah, that is a part of why I like doing it as well. Is like just I've always done it, but like I've always thrifted and stuff like just out of necessity, like
to find the clothes that fit
to fit me,
taste.
Yeah, to fit my taste, to fit my body.
Yeah, that's true.
and then like it was just like when I was like growing up, like I was raised by a single mom, and it was not like we had like she always took care of me like very very well, like
which is a lot of credit to her.
Shout out to my mom.
Yeah, it's huge. That takes a lot.
But like as far as like I wasn't like we weren't like going to the mall. She wasn't dropping racks on me or anything. She dropped money on my sports equipment. But then like as far as
awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
My mom, my parents would do that too. I was actually thinking about that earlier. Like just God damn it. That stuff ain't cheap, dude. You buy a pair of basketball shoes and a new bag and
and it adds up quick.
You gotta travel, you gotta drive here, you gotta drive
jerseys, all of it, man.
You gotta drive to Jasper on a Monday night.
Oh my, dude, that's the thing. Like,
there goes my night.
Yeah,
well, I hope they fucking win. Or at least I hope my son like plays. God
dude,
damn
exactly. Like imagine,
and you get there and they're like, "Hey, it's $8 to get in." You're like, "Are you fucking kidding me? For what? To watch a basketball game? I don't, whatever." I'm just kidding.
No, you're 100% right though, because like I mean, it's
just probably what goes through some people's minds.
Well, I mean, like I didn't when you're that age, I didn't really think about that as much. Like definitely like with travel and stuff, because like we're going out of town every weekend and whatnot. Yes. But with like like high school sports, it's like God, I really don't want to drive to this game on a Monday or Tuesday night. Like, you might get in for 5 minutes.
I know. And the team sucks. You know, like it's like our basketball team sucks this year, but our sons will just insist on playing. So okay, that's fine. Which is all good, but it's like, dude, what's funny is you're right, because when I was in high school, I played several sports, and my parents went to every sporting event except for golf. They would not go to golf, which I do not blame them.
Yeah.
That's got to be a pretty brutal, unless you like golf.
I think, yeah, exactly.
As a parent, I mean,
it would be brutal. I think
a lot of walking.
My mom might have been like, "Hey, do you care if I skip this track meet?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to be running for like 10 seconds. Go ahead," you know? But other than that, it was the same stuff. Like she was always there. Shout out to the parents, sacrificing for sports and all that shit.
Now, as a parent, which Augie's only 1.5, so he doesn't play any sports yet. But he is playing basketball in his new basketball goal upstairs. So
he is a baller, though.
Yeah, he loves it, dude. I just showed him how, and he like wakes up, goes straight to it,
starts dunking
before
on him.
bed tonight. He's gonna be up there playing with it. It's new, so he loves it. But yeah, dude, God, the sacrifices that parents make for kids. As a kid, you have no fucking clue. You're just living in your own little bubble of like, I want a grilled cheese and I want to play Xbox and
100%.
fuck everything that has to do with school in general, unless you're not like that. But that was me, at least. I did fine, I guess, but like, fuck, I hated it.
It's weird. I don't even remember.
I like the social aspect. I love seeing my friends. But
exactly. I like
class
blocked
itself. I didn't even know what was going on. I mean, what the fuck are we doing?
I don't even remember doing homework and stuff. It's like, what was that? Like,
I don't even know how much homework I actually did.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like,
because math, dude, most of me getting through math was getting to school early and copying someone's homework and then like bullshitting a test. I mean, that's the reality of
that is our education system. Yeah, like, genuinely,
that's what we could do to get by. And like, then when I got to college, it was hard as fuck. So like a lot of it, and then when I got to Full Sail and I had to take some gen ed stuff, so like some other math and whatever, just like some general shit that didn't transfer. That was like a time where I'm like, oh, okay, I'm 20, 21 years old. Okay, I know what's going on now. It's school. You got to like learn this, then you got to apply this. It was like, it took me that long to get serious about school. I don't think I was ever, I mean, I
understand that
time, but it's like, I never took the education serious. Like that, what you put in is what you get out. That didn't cross my mind. I don't even know if that ever crossed my mind as a kid, that like school was important.
I feel it.
I didn't fucking care,
Yeah, like
nobody explained it to me. My parents didn't think like that, to explain.
I think my mom did like really try and push that education on me, as far as like at a younger age, but I didn't like a lot of it, if that makes sense. Like, I did fine in school, did pretty good probably, but like it was never like, I only liked actually like, history or whatever.
Yes, yeah.
It's like,
and it was probably based off of a teacher that like also was like a good
yes,
history teacher.
That also can make such a difference.
Yes, yeah.
But no, like, but yeah, like math and stuff, like it just doesn't click. It doesn't, and I don't think that it matters. Like, I'm not using that. Yeah, for me personally, exactly. Like if you're somebody that wants to go into doing anything that involves a math, architecture, whatever, like, dude, that's awesome.
Hell yeah.
But
it is so crucial that they are into that.
Exactly.
Yes, like it has to be that way. But like then I'm the same way. It's like, I know like arithmetic, and so I think about numbers a lot more now from a different angle, but like I do not, equations, like there's really no, what am I going to do with this? I don't even know. Yeah. It's like a tool set that I just don't feel like I need.
Correct.
From a mathematical, I work with numbers a lot based off of like some accounting stuff for the record label and like management, but then like everything else that's creative, I don't need anything like that as a tool. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Sometimes in plugins and computer shit, but yeah. I guess I get why they introduce it to us, but like maybe there should be
math
like,
for sure.
Yeah, but like somebody should like interview you at some point and be like, so let me get a diagnosis of how your brain works.
Right.
And just quickly diagnose, like, yeah, I wouldn't send him in there.
He doesn't need to be in the AP math.
He wants to go paint, or he wants to go play the piano, or like give him something else. Or give him a book,
sharpen those skills, like I don't, it's, we could talk about
somebody
that
else
forever.
Somebody else who loves maths, like these fucking, they don't even understand,
Like, dude, fucking trig rocks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, it does to you.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that it rocks. Exactly.
Yeah. But and then we're into other shit, like, the shit that lights us up. I don't even know what lights me up anymore. I mean, like just music like just working in music in general. I think there's just different. Like I get super stoked after someone lays down a great part, I'm
Right.
jumping up and down. But then like the next morning, if I get an email from anybody that I send an email to, I get so excited. I'm like
a response.
Oh shit! Yeah, look. Woo!
Do you still get pumped if like you are like recording a band and then like after they leave and then you're like, ooh, I want to dive into this edit? Like, do you get and just start going in there and tinkering with stuff and like I would imagine.
Sometimes it like it feels daunting, but that's why mostly nobody I work with is truly on any sort of like demanding time clock.
Right.
I don't work at that level yet, but some stuff requires a time strength, but most stuff that I record doesn't. So it's like I can record something for a couple weeks maybe, because that's how most of my sessions are. It's like I'll record a bit, like, so the Chugs just came through. They're a surf rock band, and they're fucking badass. Like literally, their guitar tones are so dirty, and like it's like classic surf rock, and all the songs are about Ham's beer.
I'll
show you a demo before you leave. Yeah, because we recorded. So we did. So like for example, they came in Thursday night, set up all their shit. We got all the microphones set, did a sound check. Friday night after work, they all come in and we record till 10 at night. Next morning, they're here at 8. We record from 8 until like 8 at night on Saturday. So just 2 days. Yeah, it's like it's almost like one 6-hour session and one like 10 to 12-hour session to do all of the heavy lifting, which is like drums, bass, guitars, some vocals, but not really. I don't even know if we got into vocals. And then they came back Tuesday, 2 days. 2 days ago, and did a bunch of vocals on 2 songs. So then today they're coming back to do vocals on more songs, and then it's just you build it out. But then, like for example, last night or 2 nights ago, after we did vocals, I listened to the 2 tracks right before I went to bed in my earbuds that I always listen to, and I shut my eyes and I listened to it, and I just did a quick mix, but I listened to it, and I was like, whew, this is badass. Like, it's not done. It's not there yet. Like, it's not there yet, but it's like, I'm so stoked to dive in and get this vocal, because I won't touch it again until we're done with the rest of the record, and then I'll go mix it all. But that's what I was saying, like to have like a little bit of gap between recording it and mixing it, because I do both, helps me separate myself for a second and then come back in with the ears of a listener versus the ears of a recording engineer, where I'm like, that part needs this. That it's like, no, that's all over with. Now just mix it,
Yes, and
make it tight, make it balanced,
that makes sense.
Make it fucking hit though. Like, I am not afraid anymore to just do shit, whatever it takes to make something hit, which I'm not saying I'm there yet, but like that's the aim, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's like pumping thick. If it's not hitting, it's not working, like it's not there yet. It's got to bounce out of the fucking speakers. Feel it, dude. That's the only, because dude, at the end of the day, this is what I've been thinking so much of lately. At the end of the day, that is the only type of music. I don't care if it's a soft piano ballad and a singer. If it doesn't hit you, nobody wants to fucking hear it. You know what I mean? Like, there's way too much other good music to listen to not listen to, for your song to not be great. Like, it has to, that's the level that I feel like that we're aiming for in whatever right now. Is like, it has to be at that level, or else nobody's going to listen to it, because there's way too much good music to listen to,
Yeah.
We got to aim for just popping out, just like, whoa, just dope, whatever it is.
Exactly. It doesn't, I agree. It doesn't matter the genre or whatever, as long as if it can make you feel something. It's like, ooh, it's a little different. That's a little cool, special. Yeah.
Is there anything lately that you've found that you were like, in music specifically, that you were like, ooh, this is kind of, this is interesting. Is there anything you're into that's new?
Well,
that's new to you. It doesn't have to be.
The past like 2 weeks, I think, the Polyphia record has been.
Polyphia.
Yeah. They're like a It's hard to describe now because like even their instrumental, like metal heavier stuff, but like on their new album, it's like half instrumental and then half they have like featured vocals, and they have like a song that's almost like hyper pop style, and then like a song they have like 2 songs with different rappers, Snot in Lil West, and then like Steve Vai. He's like he's played with like he played in like Frank Zappa's band.
Yeah, Steve Vai.
He's like a legendary shredder. Okay. And that's like, so Bolivia, their lead guitarist Tim Henson is a certified shredder. Like he's insane. And yeah, so
was he in something before this?
No, like has
this been around for a long time?
I think their first album came out like 2014 maybe.
Oh shit.
Something like that. But yeah, dude, that's been honestly blowing my mind.
But are they combining like rock and hip hop and pop?
Yeah, it's all, yeah. I mean, it's so, you almost have to listen to it, but it's all like, it's like technical instrumental music.
Okay.
And then but it's all like the way that it's written is not like it's written for the instruments they're playing it on, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Like there's some videos that I've watched like where Tim explains like, talks about his actual music making process, and he's like, yeah, like a lot of times I don't write on guitar, like he'll write it in MIDI and then figure out how to play it on guitar. And it's like
interesting. So it's the digital, it's the total opposite of what like for example, the Strangers who I work with, total opposite of them. They will write everything on their instruments, play it 1 billion times between in their basement and then live, and then track that.
Yes.
And get it as close to what it is in real life. This is the opposite process where like you're in a digital box writing out a melody that you think is cool, and then teaching yourself how to play it on the guitar and then recording it back into the computer. That's so crazy. That's awesome. I mean, I love how like that differs.
I think
that's great.
I think you would like their stuff, especially just from like a production standpoint, because like, dude, the way they mix sounds and genres is super interesting to me, and I think that's what like really has made me just continue to like listen to it, because it's just like you can keep listening to it and hear it, and you're like, what the, it's just always, it's interesting.
That's cool. That's when shit gets cool, is when it gets like you just said, interesting.
Yeah,
that's how I think people our age fall in love with new music. It's like as you get older, the way to fall in love with new music versus like getting stuck in like I only listen to stuff I listened to when it was cool to listen to this stuff. You know what I mean? Like when you're a kid, you just like shit on some levels because your friend likes them. Yeah. It's just the way that you get introduced. But at this level, it's like, I don't know. I mean, that still happens a lot, but like sometimes you just come across, like, for example, we were at Louder Than Life, the music festival. Chloe and I are walking around, and we just hear this music that it sounds like hip hop with guitars, like shredding guitars. And we walk up, it's a DJ, a guitarist, and then like 2 or 3 rappers. Maybe there was another guitar or bass. I don't know, but there was definitely a DJ back there, not a drummer. I don't think. Maybe there was a drummer. Fuck, I can't remember. But we walk up, and they're a band called the Oxymorons. Have you heard of them?
No, I haven't actually.
I'll send you their shit. But I think they're doing pretty well right now. At least back when I looked. I thought that's what it was. But they have a badass manager. She's fucking badass. And but we were witnessing that. I'm like, dude, these guys are throwing down, and it's loud, and their music was hitting, and I'm like, holy shit, this is cool. And that was like just literally discovering new music. You know what I mean? Like, boom, out of nowhere. I'm like, I've never heard anything like this. This is sick, dude. And their energy was so like fucking in it.
There's nothing like live music, I don't think, especially if you're trying to get your sound across, because like it doesn't matter how you sound on. I mean, it does matter how you sound on a record, but like you can make your record sound any way you want to at this point.
Yeah.
And then, but how you translate that live like matters so much. And it's like,
so much does.
I don't know. You can just, sometimes you see someone live and you're like, that's way better. Like, I don't even want to listen to their, like,
the record doesn't get it. Yeah.
It doesn't do it justice whatsoever. And you're like, okay. But I think.
And I guess it does in its own way, because usually it's different in a lot of ways, you know, unless you're like a rock band who literally like plays live and then records like the same thing. Like I guess that's where it's like, well, but even then, dude, the energy, the sound system, whatever like the live experience is, but the performance part of it is not a guarantee. That's why I feel like that's where an artist who's recording and also who's going to be performing live, like you got to have that stage presence and that comfortability, but also that like risk taking. Like you're like, we feel like we're like on the edge of what you're doing. Like I remember we were just talking about this, or me and Chloe were talking about this. I remember Khalid.
Yeah.
When he first came out, which was like 2017 or 2018 when I don't know. I remember seeing him perform at like Bonnaroo or like Okeechobee, like a big festival like that. And he was playing on not the main stage, but like the next size down, big stage. And he had dancers. And I remember thinking like, he doesn't have that thing yet. Like his recordings are huge and he's like, his personality is really cool. But his stage thing, I was like, I can still tell he's working out who he is on the stage. You know?
Right.
That was at least what I felt. But then you see somebody who's like a seasoned veteran, and it's like you see the Chili Pepper. Like I saw the Chili Peppers last month.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, dude, oh my God, this is so entertaining. Like you're just like mesmerized by their stage presence. It's just four dudes, simple stage setup, cool lights, but like their energy, their presence was so big.
Because they've been,
oh my God.
I mean, dude, how many hours have they been on stage at this point? You know what I mean? They're
like most of their lives.
Yeah. It's such a natural thing. They know how to entertain, even if, like you said, it's just four dudes playing some instruments up there. Like, it doesn't have to be crazy. They're good, you know, at what they do.
And they're so like explosive. Like it's like they're such explosive people at this point, like through what they do. But then, I was thinking about it like this too at the time, because when we saw them pull up, I told the story during Cody Jones's episode, but I'm going to reiterate real quick. That's funny.
Go for it.
You should listen. I mean, you don't have to, but like if you like just like talking about this type of stuff, we talk about this type of shit like the whole fucking part, because he was at Louder Than Life too. So we're
hell
like,
yeah.
But like when we were leaving the backstage area to go to the main venue at Louder Than Life to go, because we had artist passes so we could do whatever we wanted pretty much, which was amazing. It was a fucking great deal to get this arrangement. But we're leaving the backstage area and we were going to watch the Peppers and we were going to dip out and get out of town before the crowd let out, because we had a couple hours drive home still.
Right.
And we're walking from the backstage to the main venue, and it's like this kind of like a road. Backstage is like a village. It's like a fucking
there's a bunch of trailers and
pop-up
shit.
village. Yeah, it's bigger than some towns, you know. And like, so, but they're like, hey, watch out. Here comes these 3 SUVs at the time, black SUVs. Literally looks like the presidential, whatever, caravan. And I see one passes, two passes, and then the last one, the window was down, and I could see Chad Smith, the drummer, and I'm like we were like right there, like passing us. I'm like, holy shit, I think that's the Peppers. And literally, I'm not kidding, at that time, their show in the main venue on the main stage starts, like the lights, you know, whatever.
Oh,
it's like
their intro was starting.
Yeah, their intro, like their preparation thing was going, their intro was going off. They were still backstage, so then their trucks pull in, and my friend or Cody, the photographer of the Strangers, takes a video, and you can hear me in there being like, "Holy shit! Look, it looks like the president!" Like, because they're like, it's like, you know, this like formal line. It pulls up backstage, and as we exit backstage into the main venue, and we walk around, then you can see the big stage. I'm not kidding you. Like as they pull up, it's like 20 seconds, 15 seconds. They're running on stage, grabbing their instruments, and then within another 15 seconds, they explode into the first song with bass and drums. Flea and Chad dive in and just going hard. They just like get into it, and then John Fushante's tuning up his, here he steps in, then he's playing, then all of a sudden they're all just like ripping it, and then they bust into a hit record that everybody fucking knows, just like massive song, and then here comes Anthony Kiedis, runs out on stage. Whatever that fucking and then I don't know if that was the song, but it's just this huge show for an hour and 45 minutes or whatever it was, and then they leave, and then but dude, Anthony Kiedis, I'm almost 95% sure rode in a different SUV that showed up like a minute or 3 minutes later than the rest, because there was only 3.
Dude, I mean,
they had their own part in the festival. They're such a big band that they just live their own existence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And who can blame them, man? They're like, we've been doing this for so long. We don't need the network.
That's
we don't need
thing.
to meet
yeah,
you.
It's like,
you know?
Yeah, it's like, it would be.
All the other bands are trying to fucking jerk each other.
Be like, what? But you're like,
small ones
what's good? What's good? You know, like,
yeah.
Where are you guys from?
Yeah. Trying to meet everybody.
Who's your manager?
Yeah, take our CD, dude. You know? But I mean, it's just invaluable, like, to have those experiences. Like, it's the same sort of principle as, like, when we grew up in this small town with no outlet for people who wanted to have a counterculture musical outlet, which in that day would have been, like, a rock band or, like, a hip-hop group or, like, even, like, DJing. You know, it wasn't counterculture, but just a DJ in Fort Branch when we were growing up, which is not that long ago, 20 years ago, whatever, was somebody who plays either on the radio station or at weddings.
Yeah.
Those are DJs.
It
wasn't like at one, finally towards the end of high school, I was actually like mixing sets and like doing stuff. And
oh, dude,
you helped out. Dude, you were like the third person in Premium Playlist. Like me and Jordan started it, and then Premium Playlist Entertainment.
Dude, it was so much fun, though. I loved doing that shit, bro. It was so much fun. I mean, like, there was a couple fifth quarter, or I don't even know. It wasn't necessarily fifth quarter. It was just like,
in the gym.
You rented it out, right?
Yeah.
Like, you threw a couple down there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, we had to find our own shit to do, dude. Like, there's.
Made up our own fun.
Yeah, I mean. Look! We're in your basement right now, in your studio, like still doing the same thing.
Doing a podcast at 10:40 or whatever, 11:40 on a fucking Thursday. Like we're still just. But dude, like I was just thinking, you grew up as a only child, so like you were the type of person who gravitated towards stuff that was fun and different and unique that other people were doing as well. I was not an only child, but my sister's 13 years older than me. My brother's 10 years older than me. And like by the time I went to kindergarten, my sister went to college at IU. So I just right away, I don't see her that much. You know? And I mean, we've always still been close throughout the years, thank God. But like, we're just not physically close. Like,
right.
So she always have lived elsewhere. My brother, he's just being 10 years older, like same thing. He didn't go to college, but he went to the school of life, you know, like he dove into his own counterculture and, but like he wasn't around tons either. So like I was sort of an only kid
for sure
with really older siblings, you know?
Yeah. And I know what you mean. Like
if you came over to my house, I didn't have siblings around,
right. It was, it was just you.
It was just me. Yeah.
Colin was there.
Yeah. My nephew.
God, he was younger though, dude.
Yeah.
At
dude,
that age,
he's
I
like
feel
20 or 19. No, he's 19 now. It's nuts.
It seems crazy because like at the time, Colin was like 8 or something.
6. Yeah. No, literally, he was probably like between 6 and 8. I mean, yeah. But having, dude, that's so funny that you brought up the old gym too, because I was thinking about this lately. Because I'm throwing an event. I'll fucking announce it right now. because this is going out tomorrow. So
yeah,
we're throwing Wally Opus presents the first record label showcase. We're throwing it on Sunday, December 18th. Doors at 5, music at 6. Tickets are on sale now on eventbrite.com/Wally Opus presents. I don't even know. It's just
go get your tickets.
Go get your tickets, dude. Some people have already bought tickets, which is fucking
huge.
Amazing. I just been sending out personally the link to people. So the
those pre-sale.
I did say, I sent it to people. I said, send this to friends and family. I want them to buy tickets first, which I do think it's going to sell out, but I don't think it's going to be like really hard to get tickets to this event. But I am confident that we are going to sell this sucker out. That's what it feels right, because it's 300 seats. It's at stage 2.
That's what I was going to ask.
Stage 2 at 321, which I'm going to talk. That name. I'm not meaning it as any offense, and maybe they really love it. Maybe they have a good reason. But stage 2 at 321, when I tell people that, they don't know what I'm talking about 90% of the time. And maybe that's the point. I don't know. But it's a great venue, good location. Parking is questionable, but we'll figure that out. And it's 300 seats, and we're renting a sound system from, dude, do you remember, you might actually remember this, Town Fest. We threw a festival in Fort Branch, did it 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
Like I was involved in it 2 years in a row, and Cooper was involved in it. And the second year, Sean, I think his name's Sean Black, and he works in Fort Branch. He lives in Fort Branch, he's in a band called Five Below. I think that's what they're called.
Okay.
And
I don't know if I know them, but
they're a cover band, but they're older guys.
Okay.
Than us. I mean, 40s, 50s, I think. But his sound system is nuts, dude. I mean, he's got like a mini festival style sound system. And so
Perfect.
It's like what you would have at the small stage at a big music festival. You'd have the main stage, you'd have a side stage, and then maybe a small stage that like local bands or like smaller acts play on. That's the size of the sound system. It's like got like, I don't even, like he's got the line array system that hangs down like in front of the stage, and like lights. So he had that at the second year of Town Fest. Yes. And it was so good. It was just awesome. So then I hit him up and I said, do you still have that sound system? He's like, yeah, we got the band and everything. I'm like, oh, it's badass. Is it like, would you rent it to me? And he's like, I'll rent it to you and provide a sound engineer, because it's kind of a complicated thing for this price. It was like, boom. So we locked it in. So like we're investing in a really nice sound system, nice vibe in there. I like Ethan Douglas. Do you know who that is? Ethan Douglas?
I don't.
Okay, he's younger than us, but he's an Evansville USI senior. But he's got a great visual eye, and he's a graphic design major. But he's been helping me with like posters. He did the Strangers tour poster, Atlas the Dogs tour poster. He's been helping us with shit.
Hell yeah.
So he's helping with like curate that. We're doing some art inside, like installations and stuff. Yeah, like, so we're like doing it right.
It's gonna be an event.
Yes, we're trying to line up. It's not locked in yet, but we're trying to line up some sort of like live streaming side of it.
Okay.
Get the whole thing on the internet as it's happening with like hosts. Like make it a fucking event. But the point was, I was just telling me and Claire were talking about this. I'm like, I don't call myself a promoter or someone who puts on shows. It's not like a service I provide, but it is something that I, along with the help of others, have been doing since I was in like 8th grade. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like you were there for a lot of the shows that we had in high school, especially, but even like, just like all that, like school dances, all that shit.
Yeah.
Sometimes we would put them on ourselves, and
yeah.
Parents would chaperone, and like we'd charge $1 at the door. A fucking $1.
Dude.
A fucking $1. What the?
Can't do nothing for $1
that's
these
the
days,
cheapest
dude.
show you'll ever find.
Exactly.
It's free, but.
Dude, no, those were like, I think that's definitely like something I've wanted to get into more as well. Not necessarily like you said, like not calling myself a promoter or not doing it like for a specific like even purpose, honestly. But like I think that just needs to be more of that around in town in general, of like
cool people doing cool. Not that I'm cool, but like cool people doing cool shit.
Yeah,
there's not tons of that.
There, diverse shit too. Like, you know what I mean? Like
different.
Like, dude, sure, we can have a farmer's market every Friday,
right?
But
we got 16 of those.
Yeah, but like,
which are great, but
you know what? It's the same thing every week. So you got to add something, you know, here and there that's different. Which, like, you know, there is stuff around town that's fun too, but not enough, something in my opinion. Though. Yeah,
even different from like we have like a lot of bar music venues. Not a lot. We have like 6, but like it's where you can go if you're 21. Mostly after 8, you can go and drink and listen to, most of the time, pretty decent music. Sometimes really good music. Yeah. Sometimes it's pretty rough, you know. But like that's the music experience. But then to have something, and then there's shows there a lot too, one-off shows. Right. And then you bounce straight to like the Victory Theater, the old National Events Plaza. Then you go even bigger to the Ford Center. But it's like
there's no
that in between.
Correct.
There's no operating music venues. But this is what I've been thinking so much of the last couple months, is like, at least month, is like, don't limit your music venue choice to just bars. Not even
dude.
Like,
I know.
because that's where I was so focused, because that's where everybody else plays. But I started thinking, like, remove that from the table. What else is available that like fits like between 200 to 500 people? That's a good size for where I'm at. Like for like throwing events, it's like several hundred people. Not a tiny room. I don't want a small space because it's going to be loud music.
Right.
But I don't need the Victory Theater, which costs, you know, $10,000 or whatever. I don't even know. But like, it's expensive.
Very.
And you got to fill 2,000 seats. Like, I can't, but I need that mid-size. So like, that's why this small theater works perfect. Even with the Strangers show in March was at the Astra Theater in Jasper. Mm-hmm. Dude, 357 seats. Awesome, you know, filled that bitch up.
Yeah, there's no there,
but it's not necessarily like a music venue that they have shows all the time, you know.
Yeah.
So people have, like you said, we have to like if we don't put those on, they don't happen. You know what I mean? Jeez.
Polar is really good.
Polar, never had that.
A little more expensive, honestly, but.
I mean, dude, it's not, none of it's fucking cheap.
It's really not.
But yeah, we were just saying it's important to have a spot for fucking people to develop their shit and to try shit out. And like, in our case, it's to promote what we have going on. And have you ever thought about throwing your own like a vintage showcase or like, I don't know what that, or like fashion show like Phil did, something like that?
So as far as not like I probably wouldn't do a fashion show like per se like Phil, just because he produced all that stuff. Like he's cutting and sewing and dyeing and kind of making like a whole collection, which I personally like. I don't make clothes yet. Like I haven't really gone into producing stuff. But more so, yeah, like in the future, definitely want to do like pop-ups with especially with Tate and the Bus. Shout out to Bluebird Hot Chicken, coming soon, you know. So yeah, we plan on doing stuff like that, like just having little pop-ups and events, food and clothes and art and music, all, you know. I want to do all that stuff, definitely. And then like Tate's also been doing reworking stuff himself. So like taking old blankets, old clothes, kind of cutting them up, making, you know, redoing stuff. And
really?
Yeah.
Into clothes?
Yeah.
Wow.
So like he's been sewing. He's been going crazy. Did Lisa
show him how to sew?
Yeah, like he's known for a while, but then like he said he just hadn't done it in a while, and then like probably I don't know, probably like 6 months ago or so, started making stuff. And so there's plans on like doing all kinds of shit with that. We haven't made a set plan yet, but yeah, definitely like,
It's badass, dude.
yeah, really.
Fuck, that's cool.
As far as with that stuff, it's called Empty, by the way. We like, yeah,
Empty.
we'll
That's cool.
it'll that stuff will come out here soon more. But yeah, like that, and Tate's been doing all the work basically as far as like sewing and stuff, and then I just want to help with like creative direction, really,
dude,
and shit like that.
Taste
like
making.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
your thing.
Right.
Yeah. And it's actually like really valuable for Tate. If Tate's gonna, which by the way, Tate is like your best buddy, best friend, Tate, and he's also my cousin.
Exactly.
So, yeah, that's how deep we all go. But that's gonna help with Tate. I mean, if Tate's doing like the crafting, to have, it's kind of like if a musician's playing an instrument, it's like a coach, kind of like a guide, to tell, like, to be like, well, like you look at a lot of fucking clothes and you wear clothes and you like deal with clothes all the time. So like having that input to know what clothes should look like is gonna be really useful.
Yeah, I think you hit it on the head with the tastemaker thing. Like, if anything, like, I'm not saying that I have crazy, like, well, but like,
all in all humbleness.
Yeah, no, I just think like it's like that would probably be the most accurate way to describe it, though, just because like I it's not like I'm a great creator per se. Like, I do create, some here and there, but like for the most part, it's more so of like seeing stuff and taking it in a certain direction, and fine tuning details and little things here and there. Then,
but you'll probably be able to say at some point after you guys are off, and like maybe you're already saying stuff. But like I'm imagining that like the conversation could also be if Tate's got something going, and then you're like, ooh, that kind of looks like this, and then you pull up like a jacket or a shirt that's sort of similar, but it's like, yeah, but we should go this direction with it. It's like,
right.
All of that stuff is going to help direct what you guys are up to. That's awesome, dude. Keep me in the loop about what's going on. I want to help support, or like, whatever I can do to help as well.
Yeah, I don't think it won't be too long before he starts, I'm sure, posting about that stuff and getting like some drops together, because I know he already has quite a few pieces made. But yeah, something like that, as well as like we want to create that feel, once again, like kind of, might do like smaller drop at the beginning, but then like really make a kind of a campaign out of a set number of items or whatever, and be like, okay, do a cool photo shoot, do this, that, make some content, and really push it like proper, And
it could all just be limited run stuff to begin. Make
it will be
10 of these and 5 of these, and
100%.
Yep. Dude. Which I think is the way, but like, yeah, because then you could scale it as it gets bigger, or maybe it's just not a scale. Maybe it's a custom threads type thing, but
limited, reworks
runs
of different things, and I'm sure it'll evolve over time too, like of what we're reworking or
what you're making.
Yeah, and I would like to do produce some stuff eventually too.
I think that makes sense. I feel like that's the natural progression of what you're up to.
Yeah, even just if it's like some t-shirts with a cool design, say Midwest Vintage or whatever. But
I think I don't know, I go two ways on. I think after buying my own, I just launched my own merch for Wally Opus. It's a sweatshirt, a t-shirt, and a hat. And I did it through Printful so that I don't have to fulfill it. They fulfill it for me. Right. I get a cut of the profits because I set the price. I've only sold like a couple items in a week, which is fine. I don't know. But it's awesome, actually. But so to, just to like see it, that they go on my website, buy it, and then I don't have to put up, $3,000 to get sweatshirts, shirts, and hats embroidered and
have the
shipped
stock
to me, and then have to go ship it to people.
Right.
That's what we used to do, or that's what, we still do it to some shit for like some projects I work with, but like I hate fucking with that stuff. So like for me, that's not the most important thing right now because I don't have like tons of people to buy merch from anything I do. So, but it doesn't cost me anything other than a little extra on my website to have a commerce section, but to have custom merch. And then now that I have a couple, I wear this fucking hat 27, almost 24/7, but like take it off for a few hours to sleep. But like the shirt too, and I just ordered a bunch of more sweatshirts and shit for myself, and because I'm like, it's like being a fucking plumber. You get your damn logo on your shirt and your hat, and you go do it, and you're like an advertisement for what you do.
Yeah, it's your uniform.
It's your
100%.
uniform, exactly. And you work at the company. Maybe I'll change my mind one day, but like I didn't have merch for a long time because I thought it was an unnecessary expense. Now that I just got this other thing where I don't have to buy much, I'm late to the fucking party. I've heard about it, I just never signed up. Now that I'm on it, I'm like, this is the way to go for like merch. I don't know how it's ethically sourced, so that's probably an issue.
It's fine,
but
the
shirts that they print locally are not ethically sourced, most likely, or maybe they are. I don't know, but dude, earlier what we were talking about quality, I forgot I wanted to mention this. I heard Tim Ferriss. Do you know who I'm talking about? Podcast dude.
I don't think I do actually.
Spence actually turned me on to him. Tate's older brother, Spencer, also my cousin. Also a great friend.
Shout out Spence.
Shout out Spence. We all love him. He who just moved to Indy.
Yes, he did. Congrats.
Congrats. Congrats to Megan. Congrats to everybody. But he turned me on to Tim Ferriss, and I remember Tim Ferriss saying, if you're going to invest in merch, or you're going to ask somebody to buy a piece of your merch, t-shirt specifically, I think is what he's talking about, make it a nice quality t-shirt. Mm-hmm. Like make it a really quality item that somebody can wear if it's a t-shirt for the next 20 years.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And then maybe, hopefully it lasts longer than that in terms of a piece of clothing. But like, it's going to be free advertising for you forever.
Right.
And they're going to respect you for having such a quality item.
Yes.
If they're aware of that sort of thing.
Oh, dude. I think, I do think that sometimes too, like the credit isn't given to the consumer. Mm-hmm. Like where it's like, I think that if you do get that high quality t-shirt, like you said, and someone gets it in their hands, they're like, damn, this thing's thick, this thing's heavy, like this is a nice thing. Like, yeah, they're like, they do respect it. Like not everyone, but like someone who is I wouldn't say conscious, but just someone who enjoys like clothes, like they'll notice that too. They'll be like, they'll be like, oh, is this 100% cotton? Like, ooh, I love that, like type thing. And yeah, like if you want to work towards that, there's options. They are more expensive, and same with like sourcing like union made USA stuff. Like it's always going to cost more, but pretty much every time, if you get like some union made USA tees, like they're thick, heavyweight, ring spun type stuff, and it's like it's gas. It's like it's going to cost more, but it's like you can also wear this for 20 years, like you said.
Exactly, and it's comfortable. Like that's what. And I get the argument to go with the cheaper. Well, if we go with the Gildan, it's going to be the Gildan Sport or whatever the cheapest Gildan that's available. It's only going to be $4 to print. I don't even know 100 of them or 200 of them or whatever, and get them embroidered. Right. It's like, yeah, but dude, you know what it's like to wear that shirt. It's itchy and dry and like shrinks. It just sucks. I mean, no offense to that shirt. It's got its place for like the soccer, youth football, or even
the throwaway tees, which
whatever's going to get ruined,
which
or like your
also sucks, but yeah,
or like your t-shirt for like you're going to go to this you're going to be in this relay and you're with 3 buddies and it's you're called the jerk offs, and it's like you got your fucking shirt made.
Dude,
we understand there, but like if it's a piece of merchandise, I don't want to buy a $20 or $25 or even $30 t-shirt and it's a piece of shit. It's a Gildan. I'm like, what the fuck? we're not idiots. Like you said, give the consumer some credit. It's like, dude, we're not fucking idiots.
Right.
Make it 35
Correct.
and get the nice Bella canvas, or like for merch. I mean, like, because that's kind of like the high end reasonable one that I see, at least, is like a nice Bella canvas tee. Doesn't really shrink.
You got
good feel.
You got that Comfort Colors merch.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one too.
You felt that? That's like those tees are pretty high quality, honestly. Like, you know, even though they're newer, pretty heavyweight. I like those. I'm trying to think of what else, but yeah, like recently, Andrew, Cage's bassist, got me a
Cage Willis.
Yes.
I should have him on the podcast, dude.
Definitely.
Damn, I need to connect. Will you connect he and I?
Dude, I will. I'll send him your number.
Awesome.
Just be like, get on the pod.
Yeah.
I
want to talk. I haven't talked to him in a long time, which is crazy because he's like a badass guitarist. He writes songs and plays shows, and if the bands I work with have played with him, I just didn't go to those shows for whatever reason.
It'd honestly be great, and I bet he'd love to do it because the album's coming out soon. So it'd be great for promo as well.
Fuck. Damn, I need to talk to him.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get it hooked up.
But yeah,
Andrew,
no. Sorry. Andrew got me, he went to a Turnstile show, and JPEG Mafia opened for him, and he knew I was a fan. Fucking got me a JPEG Mafia shirt. So clutch. Shout out Andrew for that.
What a
gift. When I got it though, like, dude, his merch is literally printed on one of the best blanks I've ever like seen for artist merch. And like, as soon as I got it, it was like oversized tee, heavyweight, you know, really good, like thick print, screen print. And I was like, this tee's fire, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like I noticed it as soon as I got the shirt. I was like, this shirt will like, I was like, damn, like this is like even higher than I'm trying to think of like the last artist merch that I got that was that good quality, and I don't know. So,
but what did it do to your perspective of him as an artist, though?
Oh, dude, of course, I was just like, well, one, if you know
Confirmed
JPEG Mafia, like he's like a very do-it-yourself type of dude, and like
I don't even know who that
he's
is.
I mean, he makes all of his own beats, and like he's a self-produced artist, and like
it's awesome.
He's fantastic, and so it didn't really surprise me that he would take the care in his merch to make it that high quality.
Yeah.
But it was awesome to see, you know, and like there's been, I'm trying to think of other artists, like Big Sean did a couple albums ago. He did some really big like print t-shirts for one of his albums, and I got it, and it was really good quality. It wasn't like the t-shirt itself wasn't super heavyweight, but the graphics were like top notch, you know what I mean? Just like huge screens, like super good quality. And so like I was like, well, I feel fine paying $55 for this shirt because I'm literally not gonna ever get rid of it. So you know, like,
and it's like especially if it's attached to a big show, it's a piece of memorabilia. Mm-hmm. It's also an item that you're gonna rep so fucking proudly. You also are supporting the artist. Like you're aware of all these things, or at least some of us are, you know, where it's like, dude, I love this exchange. Like, I know this is how the artist makes money. Sure. Like, that's why I don't feel bad paying, or I don't feel out of place. Now, if it's like a $70 t-shirt, I'm like,
right. Yeah, it's tough.
Pretty tough. Yeah. But like,
or like the $100 hoodie.
Yes.
You're like, ooh, let me feel that thing first.
Yes, exactly. It's a little, it's just like, oh man. I don't even know. It's just a lot to drop unless they're like a super fan. I'm not a super fan really of anybody when it comes to merch, so I can't say I would drop that much on. You know, like I don't go that far. But like, I really, like you said, I don't think people have a problem at all with paying premium prices for premium goods.
They don't.
Know what I mean?
Like The Weeknd for, I think, the After Hours album, not the newest one, but the one before that, he did like a collab with Rugi from Rude, which is like a high-end brand. And I'm pretty sure like it was like $120 or $130 hoodies, like $60, $70 tees, but it all sold out.
I'm sure it did.
And it was all high quality. So, you know, if people know what they're getting, like they'll be like, yeah, like we'll pay for it. And it's the weekend. Like, he can sell.
Yes. And his audience is big
arena,
enough to
so.
have, yes. And his audience is big enough and wide enough to have like a demographic of people who have $130 of disposable income specifically to buy a hoodie. I mean, but like, dude, my nephew Colin, we went down to Full Sail and his buddies. We went down to Full Sail to tour like 2 months ago, just to tour the school. As you walk out, I mean, they're not dumb. It's like exiting through the gift shop. As you walk out, they got all this Full Sail merch, and their stuff's pretty fucking nice. It's like good quality. I don't know the brands that they use. I didn't look, but like good quality shit, good prints, good looking graphics, premium fucking prices. I mean, it's like every college merch store. You know, dude, I went to the Notre Dame store last year. I went to a
baby.
game. God, you better have deep pockets if you're going in there because like everything is. I mean, we got a cup and a small football for August.
Yeah.
That's what we got. Like, because it was everything else was unreasonably so expensive that I'm like I'm not buying a $60 snapback or like I don't even, you know what I mean? It's like I'm not I want something to rep this school, but I'm like I'll just take the free shirt that my in-laws got me that just says Notre Dame on it or whatever.
Exactly.
You know, like, that's what I'm gonna rep. Like I can't.
It's like the stuff too, like with like designers and collabs too, is like it's pretty interesting because like it also feeds back into like what I do as far as like a lot of those people, and it's good and it's bad because like a lot of those people, or not a lot, but some of those people who are buying that weekend Rude collab, it's like they're just buying it because it's a Rude collab and like they're hoping that they can resell it. So it's like, you know, you're making more sales, but like also if you like that and you get it and then down the road you do want to get rid of it, you can still sell that again. It
holds its value.
Yeah. And as far as like, you know, that Notre Dame shirt probably isn't going to hold its value. It might if it's something crazy, but like, you know, most of the time it won't. But yeah, it's such a strange culture with that stuff too. Like, I don't know.
But I almost think, and I don't know, but like, I don't know how much stuff actually gets left over the decades that remains in good shapes that people find, you know, like, cause I feel like oftentimes, maybe I'm wrong in this, oftentimes the best finds are like, in my case, a recent find in my life of apparel that is old that I wear actually is, I've had it for like 2 years now. A Notre Dame jacket. It's a denim jacket with patches, and the sleeves are green denim.
Ooh.
It's got cuffs. I'll show you before we
Hell
leave.
yeah.
It's got a big emblem, and like it's just thick, and it's like really, really comfortable. It's got buttons. Everything is like in good condition. It was Chloe's dad, but it like sat dormant in his closet for like 30 years, or like something. You know, it's like it just was in a time capsule for like, which was the closet for like 20 years. So then you find this thing, dude. Like my mom, I know my mom's got this like somewhere. It's just like stacks of my brother's basketball jerseys when he was in middle school.
Yeah,
all these players from like back then, you know. And it's like those are the real finds because like no one even knows they're there except for like the mom who has no idea that they have any value because she's like, oh, those are Kyle's from, you know, 99, you know, that's, or 95.
That's part of the thrill of it too, you know, is like, hitting up, I don't know, running into someone that you used to know and be like, oh, what do you do? And you're like, oh, you got any old clothes? Like, I'll buy them. And they're like, what? And they're like, well, what are you talking about? I'm like, I don't know. You know, you like old sports stuff, old, you know, whatever. But then like,
old Bears leather jacket or some crazy Packers shirt.
And like, especially with like being like where we're around here, it's a lot of work where like it's very blue collar. So like a lot of workwear and stuff, which is a lot of what I personally like that stuff. It kind of shapes my style somewhat because I really like distressed, like chewed up stuff that looks like it's been worked in or has been worked in. Yeah. But like that stuff, like a lot of those people don't even like want that or see that as like even it might not have much value to them at all, and they're like, that's literally like something I worked in for 20-30 years and it's gross, or like I've been using that shirt as an oil rag in my garage, and you're like, I understand that, but I will pay you for it. You know,
they're like, dude, I actually feel too bad to give it to you.
Yeah, like exactly, like you can just take it, it's gross, and you're like, thanks, I'm gonna wash this and I'm gonna wear it. And
that is so funny, dude.
It's so fun. That is very fun. Like part of it is doing that stuff where, it's like, look, like it might not have value to you, but it does to me. And like, I know people that would, like that as well. And that's the like networking, like part of it is really, it can be frustrating at times, but it's also really fun stuff because you just meet some characters too, like
I'm sure, dude.
It's just the nastier, grimier spots, like the better and the more fun it is to just dig in and, do see, like find stuff. Yeah, like it's great.
A real process of discovery. Like, that's all, dude. What's funny too is like I know what you're talking about now too, because like I went to a vintage shop in Nashville like a couple months ago, and I almost bought this. Oh fuck! I want to say it was like a garage, like a auto shop garage, but it was like a work shirt, had the company name and a patch of some sort. But it was like blue denim buttons, but it was in like good condition. But it was old, and it was like, I forget, it was too expensive for me. But that is like I don't know why I was so attractive to an old work shirt that some dude Dale wore at the auto parts store, but like, it's like a piece of time, history. I don't know. It's
we're
like
strange in the way that, like humans, you know what I mean? In the way that like, and not everyone's like that, but definitely like, I think more than not, a lot of people, I don't know, maybe that, do you think it's like a Midwest thing?
I don't know.
Because like,
fucking no idea.
Because like, I don't know, not always, but like, I think that, like, there's something romanticized about, the old, like, it's like, this is a better time, or like, this is a different time, or this was whatever. But it's like something that we can't physically go back to that time and experience that, but we can own a piece of it. And like, I think that's like a lot of it.
Dude, I have a very similar, like, when you're describing that, I'm like, that is an infatuation that I have with like there's a part of Evansville on the west side, down by Lamasco, that skate park, down by Franklin Street, kind of. There's like areas there, and then there's some areas over by Bossy Field where like it's industrial, old industrial buildings, and like I when we get down there, it sounds so weird, but like I like it. I feel good among this, like, because I feel in touch with a previous generation's building of America, like this building of like they literally built shit here. Like this is where the country came from. Stuff like this, factories like this. I don't really feel that when I go to like Toyota. I think it's fucking insane. When I'm there, I'm like, wow, this place is insane. It's like the building itself is like alive with all these robots and fucking stairways and bullshit, like all this crazy shit. But then going to see like an old factory that I don't even know if it's in use anymore, it's like, wow, this place is great. Like, it's just, you can feel so much among it, I've never actually talked about that, but I tell Chloe that when we're down by there. I'm like, it'd be so awesome to have an office down here, like a studio.
You been in the old Whirlpool?
No.
You've never been in there?
I've never been in there.
Dude, it's crazy. Like, not in like a, not that it's like, whoa, this is unbelievable. It's an old warehouse, but it's like
massive.
It's insanely big, and that's like where they built a lot of airplanes, I believe, in World War II. So like, just the fucking history and like stuff that's went down in that building, like over the past almost 100 years, like, and you can't even imagine. And like, it's just still standing there, still. I mean,
getting used somehow, with some sort of
it's like parsed out now, I think. Like
think
where
so.
a bunch of different,
There's like a steel company in the back, and yeah,
all kinds of stuff. But yeah, dude, it's I don't know. I feel like it might have something to do with us just being like very blue collar raised like type thing, but I don't know if that's for sure. But yeah, like
I know, because maybe there's like a nostalgia about it too, where like we grew up going to old people's houses who had photos of that time, where it was like, oh, that's you at the factory when it was in its heyday, or like when it was new, you know?
Exactly. And yeah, like the distressing like old distressed clothes like that. I see like old pictures of like my family or something. Like they're all like farmers, so it's like all that old like flannel, all the old trucker caps, like that's all. God. It's like culture, honestly.
It is culture.
It's our, you know.
Oh my God, dude. That's crazy. Dude, like speaking of like farm, even there is something that I thought was just so fucking cool, which is so silly thinking back, but like we were in Poseyville, in town in Poseyville, but like on the edge of town, there is a huge grain excavator, you know what I'm
saying? It's
the co-op, but like inactive. It's over like on the other side of town. It's not active anymore.
Oh,
it's
as
like
you're
a grain
coming,
elevator,
like the way when you're coming from Hopstad. Yeah.
It's like over on the
I know what you're
left-hand
talking
side.
about. Yeah.
So one of my mom's friends lives by it, but I was helping do something there one day. But I just like looked at it. I'm like, holy shit, look at that thing. Like, I just want to go in there and see what's happening, you know, like explore, like imagine what it was like. I don't know why that is so attractive as a human to role play in your head, like the feeling of being back in this thing that was once, you know,
lively and like
new. And when Augie was probably like 4 or 5 months old. He was like, or 6 months old. He was a baby, and I put him. I had a free day, and I had to watch him. Like, it was when Chloe went back to work, and like it was me and Augie that day. And so we went to the LST down on the river, the old warship, and toured it. He was on my chest, and this baby, like Carlos on Hangover, and we were walking around, and like I was like taking in. I was having these moments of like, holy fucking shit. Like, people lived in here. Like, in this, like, we'd be in the bunk area, and I'm like having visions of like being there. You know what I mean? It's like, holy, you can feel the energy and like it would be like me being 28 years old and being drafted into the war, and now I'm on a fucking ship going to Europe or something. It's like, okay, wow. Like, I can feel that energy in these walls, you know?
100%, dude.
Fucking
soaked all that anxiety right up into those walls, dude.
Yes.
And
I don't know if there's something to that. I don't know if that's like there's any science to like the memory of matter, you know? I don't know if that's a thing at all, but like, fuck me, it's crazy to
I think it's definitely some stuff we can feel, even if it's not, you know, even if it's not necessarily
but I don't know if that's in my head because I knew that it was a warship.
It could be too, somewhat, but like, I know what you mean. Like, there's different places all around that have different vibes, just, you know, and
you go to log in, dude, that's its own fucking vibe.
Exactly. Like
places like
or New Harmony.
Or New Harmony, the buildings of New Harmony, like buildings that are so old that have like started to settle, and they're just like a glued piece of gravity pulled it together to this just like thing now. It's just like a structure. Like it's just like it's like all broke. It's like fully broken in, and you know, like
exactly.
God, dude, New Harmony is like such a special place. Like, I don't mean that in any corny way either. I don't mean it's like this fucking flower-filled, you know, free-for-all. But, like, it's such a unique spot.
It is
for what
unique
it is.
For sure.
And it's got like its high glory heaven and like its weird dark alleys.
You're fucking spot on right there, dude.
And you get the range of characters are everywhere in between.
Oh,
all 700
dude.
of them.
Oh my God.
All 750 of the locals.
Dude, each one of them is literally, wow. Yeah.
One might have literally like $100, and then the other one might have like 100 million. You know, it's just like you don't even know who's who and what's what.
Yeah, it's a game of Clue over there for sure.
It is a game of
town-wide
Clue with 700 people playing. And I mean, dude, we both spent a lot of time there over the couple of years period there where people were hanging out there, and like, it's just crazy to think. I remember sitting at the ties that are there, because I remember sitting one day, I'm talking to Clem, and Clem, our old teacher, mentor, brother, who's since passed away. That's really when he passed away. Everything kind of faded over time, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That was our connection to the town, I guess. But I remember one day me and Chloe went out there, and we were at Sarah's, which is a small brewery and restaurant, drinking some beer, and then we walked over and visited Clem. While we were at the Sarah's, this guy was just sitting there by himself, and I won't say his name, but like older fellow, and he like we were just bullshitting with him, and like he just gives me a weird vibe. He always has. When I see him, I'm like, God, I just get a fucking weird vibe from that guy. He's nice and he's got cool stories, but like underlying, I just don't know about him. That's what my feeling was always. So then we were going back to Clem's after we talked to this guy, and I telling Clem who we were talking to. He's like, oh, he goes, he and I have always gotten along, but then we get into it and we don't talk and all this shit because everybody knows everybody there,
right?
You know. But he's like, yeah, his family founded Wadesville, and it's like, wait, his family founded the town next door. Yeah, it's just crazy when you're there. It's like that small, and that like the people who live there are the people who like did important, influential shit in the area like 100 years ago or 200 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then their descendants are walking around New Harmony. Like, it's just, dude, some of the connection there. I used to think, and still there, but like some of them, I'm like, especially Clem's family, like all those people, like the people who founded New Harmony and stuff. I'm like the Owen family. I'm like thinking how nuts it is that they're tied to like oil.
Oh,
and I mean like the founding of like Standard Oil.
Yeah, Standard
Houston,
Oil
Texas.
Company. We're talking.
Yeah,
we're talking big time.
The oil company in early 1900, like massive connection, and then it like it's like filtered, it's diluted over the years to where it is today, to where there's just some people, I guess, who still have money, but just crazy shit. It was crazy. I had no idea it existed.
Yes, it is very much. It feels like the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, it kind of lives in its own little bubble universe.
And like, that's truly one of the only places I've ever been where like, I feel like, it's like in another dimension almost, like where you're there and you're like, like you said, the inner workings and everything. You're like, what?
Well, it's like a self-governed place. There's only one police officer, maybe there's two, but like there's only ever one cop.
Yeah.
And then like highway patrol comes through sometimes, but like they don't know what's going on in the city. So it's like self-policing. But then, I mean, think about how small this place is. It's got 4 or 5 art galleries, 3 theaters, like these are just insane.
And you can walk across the town in like an hour.
Yeah, literally and he means from end to end.
Yeah, the whole entire thing.
Entire city limits. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, God, it's fucking nuts. It's just so unique.
It is. It really is.
Then you go to like Fort Branch or Hopstock, which is like 2 or 3 times bigger in population and all that. They don't have a single theater. They don't have a single art gallery.
There's a library.
And
a jungle gym.
And a jungle
for
gym,
the kids.
That's right. And like 3 old gyms. But like
retired high schools.
Yeah, it's retired high schools. But yeah, God, I don't even. It's crazy. Crazy shit. All right, hey, let's wrap it up.
Let's wrap this thing.
Before we do, I got one segment. It's called Don't Think, Just Act. So
Yeah.
I'm going to rifle off 10 names, items, terms, words, and you just tell me the first thing that comes to your mind.
Love this.
Bluebird hot chicken.
Juicy.
The future.
Yeah.
That's Tate's bus. That I really hope that he gets that done in time to be at the December 18th show. I mean, it's going to be close, but he said if I get it done, I'll let you know.
Be close.
Next term, 5th quarter.
Classic.
Phew. It's where it all began, and sort of.
Yeah.
Favorite concert you've ever been to? Or show?
God damn, dude.
What's one that comes to mind?
The first one was Under Oath in like 2009 or something. Not even then, probably 2007 or 8. Yeah, me, 2 of the homies saw them. This is literally in middle school. Like, we couldn't drive. Dan Bittner, shout out Dan, took us down in the excursion to Nashville at Rocket Town, which is not around anymore, I don't think.
I've never heard of it.
It was,
and I've only known Nashville for like a couple of years now. So
Rocket Town is like actually a pretty legendary venue there, but it was like a Christian run venue. Okay. And I saw them in like 2007, probably 2008, and it was incredible.
That's great, dude.
Impressionable, you know?
Oh yeah, one you'll never forget.
No.
Favorite piece of clothing you've ever scored?
NWA. I hit
T-shirt?
Niggas for Life, 1996 maybe, like OG.
Is that a piece of merch technically, or was that like a
it was
a branded shirt that like a company put out?
No, that was the thing. It was official merch, like for the album, and pretty. It's definitely the
Do
rarest.
You still have it?
No, I sold it. It was more money than I needed, or I needed the money more than I needed that shirt. Yeah, I just didn't wear it that much. So
I get that.
Like,
no, that's badass, dude. An NWA shirt. Favorite artist or band today? Kind of mentioned one earlier, but
yeah, right now, Polyphia or West Side Gun's 10 album is also nutty.
West Side Gun.
Yes, Griselda.
That's an artist?
Yes.
Okay, I never heard of him.
Classic.
Will you send me some? Will you send me some? Okay, you get a free trip, all inclusive, all paid for, to go digging anywhere in the world. Name the city. America, not America, it doesn't matter.
I'd probably just go to Japan.
Japan.
Yeah.
Really?
Easy. Yeah, Japan also has a huge vintage culture because they like Western culture as well. But like they also, they're a very culture based society. So like I think they appreciate like vintage stuff in general. Okay. So like, yeah, dude, it's super popular for like Japanese buyers to come to America and buy like
shit. And
from like even from the homies, like my
homies.
Really? Like I have homies in Louisville, Max, shout out Vintage Banana, and but yeah, like they'll come to his house and shop.
That's fucking
like
nuts.
Through his stuff, and then bring it back. Like
that's fucking cool,
dude. Japan.
So Japan is the spot.
That's definitely where I would want to go.
I hope you get there, man.
One day.
You will.
For sure.
All right. What is your dream score? Could be anything. Shoes, piece of clothing, hat. What's something that if you found it, you wish you could find it?
It's a great question.
Anything come to mind?
Not really. Maybe like honestly, over clothes, I'd like to like hit a pick and just like find a car.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like go to some house and then have like some car buried in the garage, and you're like, how about, what do you want for that? You know?
Yes.
And That would be lit.
I've been feeling that way about buses or RVs, like because, or bigger vans, because like I want to buy a tour bus, or I want somebody to buy a tour bus that I can use, and or a tour van, whatever, you know, something that can facilitate like 6 people, 8 people, something like that, to travel for multiple days, like a fucking tour bus.
Oh yeah.
And you know, sometimes I'll see like a old camper, or like an old, I just started looking, and I'm not quite serious looking, but I'm like casually looking for a future date. But you know, like you see like an old RV, and it's like, man, that thing's been sitting there for like 15, 20 years. Are you guys planning on using it?
Yeah.
You know, anytime soon? And if not, can I just take it off your hands for like $1,000?
Exactly.
Like, I'll give you 5 if it's nice, if it runs.
Exactly, dude. If I could go to like an estate sale, or like somebody's like, yeah, I know this person that passed away. You go in their garage and it's just like an old Beamer, or like, you know, like not even, doesn't even have to be
cool.
a Beamer. Yeah, it just has to be something cool. Like I would be like, that would be lit, bro. And
like somebody who wants like this is what I'm searching for. Somebody send me this if they hear this. But like this is the buyer or the seller I'm looking for with this tour bus, or for my van situation, and for whatever other car. But like for my, I'm like, I want somebody who knows it's valuable, but has enough money to where they don't care about getting the full value, and they're like, I recognize what you're up to. I want to help you out. Just give me this amount. It makes it worth my time. Makes me feel okay, and then you can take it and go make the most with it. But enough to where I feel like I can't fuck this up. I got to take good care of this thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something reasonable.
Yes.
You know. Because goddamn, I can't shell out like $60,000 on a tour bus, like an old tour bus or something. You know, it's like I need to get that price.
And dude, like the maintenance on that shit has to be outrageous. Like gas, filling up a fucking 100-gallon tank.
If it breaks down, like literally, who's gonna pay for it? The $3,000 transmission gear, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. Who's someone you look up to? Could be in life or in what you do. Could be a celebrity too. Doesn't have to be anybody local.
Dude, creative wise, I'll say Virgil, RIP. In real life, probably Max, Vintage Plug. Shout out to Max. He owns a store in Louisville. Yeah.
Can I go with you sometime?
For sure.
I need to meet some people in Louisville. I want to get...
Dude, we go all the time, so yeah. But like, yeah, I mean, he really like got me into like selling like seriously or whatever, you know, like in terms of like the way that when I started, like I went to Louisville just to sell some shit. Cause like I had, like I said, like I've been thrifting like since I was younger.
Yeah.
And doing that, but just for myself, and then like selling it to the homies in high school, but not like for a business. So then like when I went and sold him some stuff, he was like super nice, like always like, you know, answered any questions I had, stuff like that, gave me fair prices on all the stuff that I was selling him. And so I was like, damn, like that's like how I feel like the business should be handled, you know?
Yes.
And so like ever since that, I've tried to be, you know, equal in that, like, or like kind of follow that, like, it's not about just making fucking cash, you know?
It's not about getting one over on every single person that
yeah,
you do
it's like,
with. It's like
I don't have to
developing a relationship.
100%. You don't have to make fucking $20 on every tee or whatever. Like you don't even have to make sometimes I don't make a profit. Sometimes I buy something and then I'm like, damn, like this person needs to have it, whether or not, you know, it just triggers something in my brain.
You hooked me up with a couple items over the years.
But yeah, dude, it's just like, I think that's what being fresh and being fly and feeling good about yourself is, like just knowing like what fits and what you like, you know what I mean? Like what will fit your body physically right, and then also like what you like. And like if I see some shit and I'm like, I know someone's gonna want this, then like I'll send it to them, you know. And I'm not, depending on what it is, like I'm not trying to like always tax. Like if it's something crazy, it's not like I'm gonna like give it to you for free or anything. But but if it's, you know,
or something that you paid,
yeah, if I paid up on it,
yeah,
then I'll let you know. But like, yeah, like it's just more about, like you said, building those relationships and helping people, you know, get clothes that they think are fly and looking better, feeling better. Like I think that's, you know, so
it's an awesome thing, dude.
Yeah.
That's awesome that's that like seeing somebody else do it informs you of how like that's how I felt about this. I mean, just in my own world, going to Louder Than Life, seeing how Danny Wimmer puts on his events with his whole team, of course, but like the level of like everything. I mean, a beer costs fucking $12, but it's because the Red Hot Chili Peppers are playing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, like it's because Incubus, Alice in Chains, and then the Red Hot Chili Peppers just played all within 2 hours of each other.
Right. You got to pay that.
Cheap,
yeah,
dude. Like,
exactly.
And like all the people working, all the fucking golf carts, everything, right. The fencing, the fucking flyers, the wristbands, everything costs money.
Dude, ads.
The ads, dude.
Just to advertise for a festival that big. I mean, that's like, I would see the Louder Than Life stuff, you know, like, you like, I don't know if they had YouTube ads, but you know what I mean? Like scrolling down the internet, you just see that and it's like, well, that had come from somewhere, you know?
Exactly. And like seeing how big Danny Wimmer goes is like so inspiring to me to be like, okay, like for this December 18th show, I'm charging $20 a ticket to get in. But like that, to me, that sounds like a lot for a local show because I am used to
putting
charging
money into it though too.
But yeah, I'm used to charging $5, $7 at a bar for a cover. To put on your own event, you're renting a spot, you're renting a sound system, you're bringing in art. Like I'm like trying to curate it too, and I'm paying every single act.
Right.
Like I'm trying to run it like the festival, you know, loud.
Like you would want it to be like run if you were a customer.
Yes.
Right.
Dude, like I want to go to the event that I would want to go to. And my first thing at every venue, the sound. Like if it doesn't sound good, it's not the experience I know it could be. Because I'm like, I heard this band on Louder Than Life. I heard it on the big stage at Louder Than Life. I know how good that shit sounded and how big and how like the kick drum felt like 13 thunderstorms. You know, like it was just like it was so. Which I know to some people is like not good music, or that's like not a good way to experience music. But like the point was to get the most out of a live experience, just fucking have a nice sound system.
Right.
Which is expensive, so it's hard to do. I get that. Or like you go to the bar and you got, some dude running the sound system who's like, I actually just own the bar. I don't really do this. I'm just helping. You know, it's like he's
the
not.
End.
Yeah. But it's like you just get what you get, you know, and like it's not necessarily but that's the thing. Like so it makes sense to me. I'm like, no, this is fair, and I'm gonna put that in the description, like in my Eventbrite. I feel kind of silly, but I'm like, I'm gonna put in there why I'm doing this.
No, 100%. I think you should.
This is where your ticket's going. This is where this. It's like.
Dude, people enjoy transparency nowadays. So like
that's what Chloe said.
They do. And if you're like, yeah, each artist is getting paid what they should, or they're getting paid. Doesn't even matter.
Amount.
Yeah, a fair amount going to the artist, going to all of it. People understand. Like that's the thing. If you're bringing value and then showing why, why you're charging that. So I think if you can show why it's worth that, then people don't have a problem paying for it, you know?
Totally. And I want the artist to be satisfied. The same with any future collaborators. It's like we should all win after this is over. Everybody should walk away being like, that was worthwhile. Everybody's happy for their work that they put in. They got paid. Like everybody got recognized as a contributor, and the people valued it. Because like if you're gonna have music and you're gonna say support local music and like everything's local, if you don't support local music by contributing to the
Right.
local music scene in some ways, it's like you're not really helping the music. You know what I mean? It's like you're not doing the work that is also good for the community.
Yeah, if you're just giving them a stage to get up and not paying them
Not
or not
paying
doing
them
anything,
or-
it doesn't
yeah.
really do that much, you know.
Right.
Which like it
does.
does, but it doesn't. Like
Right.
after a certain point, if you just keep doing that, it's like, well, we're not going to come play your shows. We're not getting paid, or you know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
And I know how much work bands put in to play
Right.
shows, and they don't get paid anything to rehearse, obviously, or practice, which is just the way it goes. That's just like what starting something is. And you do it because you love it, but it's still a lot of work to put in effort for a show and then to bring all your shit and it's just a lot of effort. So to pay them like, you know, what's worth their time to come out and do it, it's what I would want.
right.
And as a which I know it's really hard to do as a venue, especially a small one, but like, so I can't even imagine. It's why they don't exist in Evansville very much. It's 'cause,
Right.
like, they're really hard to run and they lose money. It's
Like
just
crazy.
yeah,
Sure.
and you got to deal with fucking people acting crazy.
Yeah.
But I just talked to a guy who used to own some venues around here, so he was explaining some of the stories. He's like, people would get mad that I didn't pay them, but like I didn't have any money.
Yeah.
I didn't even have any money for myself, and I had to run the fucking business, you know.
Right.
But I know like venues are expensive and hard to run, but what if it's just a one-off event? It's like that's why we do the one-off event. I'm not going to buy a venue and do it because I don't have the money for that. But like, if it's a fair exchange, everything's communicated transparently. This is what you're getting for this price. That's what like Louder Than Life is. Yeah, the
Right.
tickets are expensive, but like the experience you get is the best experience that you can imagine.
Right.
In
The
terms
best
of
rock
like,
music experience.
exactly. Loud sound system, amazing light shows, amazing setups. Everything's convenient as fuck. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Great fucking festival. So you pay more.
Exactly.
It's also you get what you pay for, you know?
Yeah, and I
And
mean
that
you
has
have to
be the
start.
exchange.
Yeah, you have
But-
to start somewhere too, like you said with the single event. It's like, well, if you throw one single event and it goes well, then it stacks, and it's like, okay, in 2-3 months or in 4 or 5 months, we can have another one that might be bigger, make more money, and then we can,
Yeah.
you know, you can scale that success like to like in a hopefully, you know,
Yes.
to a certain extent, and yeah, just keep bringing it better and better experiences, and
it just grows to bigger and bigger audiences, which gets bigger and but it's like, you know, I think the fun part about it is that it's one-off. So like
yeah,
I think I'm just going to do like one-off shows in Evansville once a year at the end of the year, and it's like, here's all the music we worked on this year.
that's a good idea.
Hit the lot, you know. That's
Yeah.
that's what this is. I don't
Yeah.
work with Paxton, like we haven't recorded anything, but he and I have been like exchanging ideas and talking music for like 4 months.
Right.
So like we're at a point where I feel like we might work on something in the future. I don't know, but I like what he does, and so
Right.
I thought that the show just needed like a wild card. I literally put that on the Eventbrite description.
Hell yeah.
Every band has a bio. His band has, because they're a brand new band. They're all seasoned. They're all seasoned musicians, but brand new band. And I put the wild card
Yes.
because like every show needs that. Just they have nothing to lose, so they're gonna come in and just
Shred.
do
their damn thing.
their thing. And I hope people enjoy it.
Yes, that's all you can do.
Yep. So all right, I got 2 more. Music comes to mind.
Passion, honestly.
Love it. All right, last question. You get one night to hang out with anybody you want, dead or alive. Who you hanging with?
Damn, bro. That's hard. I don't, dude. Who do I, dead or alive, bro?
You just get to hang out with this person and like just chill and talk and drink a beer or smoke a little something and just hang out and pick their brain.
Dude, that is, God, that's a deep question. There's a lot of people that have been around.
What's one person?
Oh,
I know, because it's like you could say like, well, I mean, it'd be fun to hang with like Paul McCartney, and then it'd be fun to hang with Elvis, or I mean, like, not that anybody wants. I don't mean it's like
not that anybody wants to hang with Elvis, but yeah,
you can just go down the fucking line,
Yeah, I don't know. Probably like, honestly, I'll just go with like a Renaissance guy, like probably like some like Michelangelo or
cool.
like a Leonardo da Vinci type thing. Like, I would want to know.
You would want to hang out for a minute without cell phones and like beepers and like electronic device. You know what I'm saying? It's like, let's escape that for a second and just hang out in a world where you're just like.
I would also like to hang out with cell phones and beepers with him though as well, because he would
fucking trip, dude.
His brain would explode.
Oh my god, he would have a blast with that cell phone. Holy shit!
And like, do you think like I'm curious too? Is he just like our intellectual level, but like
right?
I don't even know. I'm not a historian, but like yeah.
I know
hundreds
what you
of years
mean,
ago.
Yeah.
I'll just put it up.
Are we on the same level of like understanding about things? But like, God, dude,
there's no way.
Or would it just be like constantly mind blown? It'd be like, wait, your toilet's where?
Yeah,
in the house. Like, but that makes so much sense.
But like I think I don't know. Those guys were also like those time period of dudes. Yeah, but they were also like extremely good at like not all of them, but like. Leonardo, right? He was like good at math, right?
Yeah.
To do all the, all that shit.
Dude,
and
I was on Da Vinci's Wikipedia one time, which is like it's like an encyclopedia basically. It's humongous, and it's like everything he was into. You just think like, so this is what he did. This is all he did. He didn't go to a single fucking party. Yeah, he didn't have friends.
That's what the thing. Like when I think about those type of dudes,
I don't know,
but like. You're thinking, you're like, okay, by the time they're like 20 years old, they've been working on one painting for like 4 years or something.
Yes.
And you're like.
But then he also like invented a branch of calculus. Or like, wait, whoa, he built a helicopter? Like, like.
All they did was just, they had time, dude. Like they had no, they had distractions and shit. They had to live, but
plagues and shit.
Yeah, but like as far as like their job is to literally just sit around and think of shit
and do
and like make and like figure out how to make a piece of marble look like the human muscle. You know what I mean?
Oh my god! And then they were sculptors too.
Yeah.
Jesus. It doesn't end.
Nah, I think
made musical instruments and like.
Shit, it would definitely be
oh my god,
super interesting to like, I don't know.
That would be so cool just to see what kind of human, and then to go talk to the village people as well, or the other people in the city, just go to a pub and hang out too and like hear what the conversation's like and be like, oh,
it has to be so fucking similar, honestly.
I mean, I bet a lot of the drama or emotional talk is probably really similar.
Right, like day-to-day life shit, don't you think?
But like day-to-day life shit, you could probably relate. But like the global shit, or like the fact that like like we're cool with Canada, like we're cool with our neighbor, like we don't have to go to war with them, like it's fine,
right?
Or like I don't even know, I couldn't even imagine what like like where we're at in the universe type understanding,
Yeah, one day you could wake up and like your town is like literally being set on fire by other people, and you're like, I didn't get a fucking Apple News didn't tell me this was happening.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
I had no warning, dude.
Or your cousins who live in the next state just got killed by a tornado, and like you don't find out until you eventually hear that there was a tornado. Yeah. And then you go check and it's like, there's nothing here. It's been 3 years, That's gotta be nuts. Or, I mean, even like somebody who left their home to go on, I'm sure that happened all the time. It probably still happens a lot, but like, I'm sure that was so complex. Like somebody's like, we're going out on the ship. We're going to go do this. And it's like, we never saw him again.
Ever.
Yeah. And it just happens all the fucking time. Like every time, like they leave, and it's just like that's that. Even somebody who lives, they might land on another land, and like you're never talking to them ever again, and you just die in Italy, wondering if they ever made it to America.
Exactly.
You just have no idea.
Wondering what even America is. They're like, is it
We heard
what's
it had
over
golden
there.
streets or
Yeah.
whatever, you know.
Yeah.
The catfish were 10 feet long. I mean, just, gosh.
Dude,
That's funny, dude.
it's amazing.
All right, we got to wrap it up.
Rapper.
We got to get on with our day, man. We've been doing this for a minute.
Yeah,
This
we've been
is fun,
going.
though. We should do this again.
We can.
I'm having a blast.
We could do that. I could do this all day long, brother.
All right. Well, Chris, I just want to say, yeah, you've always been a great friend and a great dude and a great supporter. Holy shit. Hopefully you're free on the 18th and you can come out and check out the spot. God, hopefully Tate's free and brings his fucking hot chicken.
Oh yeah.
We'll see.
We'll talk about it.
If not, we'll throw another event next year and get him involved.
Hell yeah. Before we go, I would also like to say thank you for having me on. And, like you said, we've been friends forever, but I appreciate this. And I can't wait to hopefully do it again in the future, and down the road things have been changed up a little bit,
Oh, yeah.
And,
Absolutely, man.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
shout out to all the homies, that were mentioned today. Make all of the things
all
come
those
together.
who weren't,
Yeah.
Mick May.
Yeah. There's a lot
all
of
the Logan, Brody, all the guys. Like, I mean, shit. I still talk to several who, Mick May being someone I'm involved with musically, creatively. But yeah, dude, shout out to everybody.
the network of homies is strong.
It is. Yep, it is. All right, man. Well, Chris, we could find you on Depop and Instagram primarily.
Yeah, Instagram mid.west.vintage. Depop, I think it's Middle America Vintage, but
I think so.
yeah, if you I got a link in bio on both of them. If you have them, it
I'll
goes to
link
each.
to this.
Yeah.
We'll link to this video too. Put your Instagram in there, and then you can find your Depop store through your
Absolutely.
Instagram. All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening. This has been Mining in the Foothills, and yeah, that's that. Chris, thanks for coming through.
Thanks, y'all.
All right. See you next
Peace.
week.
Outro music.